So today I want to talk about how people are demanding for ICE agents to take their masks off, to be identified. And we all know it's not the kindness from your heart just to know who the person is. You are demanding for them to remove their masks, to be identified so they can be doxxed. Not only them, but their family. And your logic behind that is because if our people have no peace, why should they have any peace? That's a very narrow-minded of looking at it. But that's okay. I'm going to try to see if I can expand your viewpoint. Think about this. You guys are crying when ICE agents are using non-lethal force. When you guys are the ones that assault them. When you're the guys are the ones that are participating to disrupt their operation. Physically disrupt their operation. So you guys are mad and demanding for them to remove their mask. And this is how you know you're brainwashed. Because you're demanding for ICE agents to be identified so they can be doxxed. Then you move on to your logic of, our people have no peace? They shouldn't have no peace either. You rather demand ICE agents to be identified so they can be doxxed than demanding illegal immigrants that cross to this country unvetted, not knowing who they are. You end up protecting their identity and you won't demand their identity. And because ICE agents are doing their job, no matter how hard you guys are pushing back, we're starting to see that amongst those so-called hardworking illegal immigrants, they have a dark past and have talked about that dark path before because we don't know who they are. They can't be identified. So this is how you know you're brainwashed. You're demanding ICE agents that they're doing their job. And so far they've been doing a great job because they have shown tremendous strength on just using non-lethal force against attackers, agitators. And they have captured amongst those illegal immigrants, not only that they have crossed over unvetted, unwanted, but they have criminal history. Kidnapping, unaliving, rapes, assaults, stabbings, all these kind of charges. And yet you don't even think twice to want to know the identity of all these illegal immigrants. That's when you know you're brainwashed. Now, why am I talking about this? Well, just this weekend, it has been reported that an illegal immigrant tried to rob and ended up shooting an off-duty border patrol. And this same illegal immigrant, Miguel Francisco Nunez, 21 years old, crossed over in 2023. He was captured, but he was released here in the United States. He has a long rap sheet, ranging from kidnapping that he's actually wanted in Massachusetts, the crimes that he has committed in New York, stabbing, thefts. He's been involved in criminal activity. But yet, you guys do not demand for these illegal immigrants' identity. Their surveillance of how it went down. Shot the off-duty border patrol on the face and the forearm. The border patrol officer also returned fire. Got him in the groin and the leg. And the reason why I talk about this, or want to talk about this, or bringing it up, is because that's how brainwashed you are. Your whole focus is on demanding for ICE agents to be identified just so they can be doxxed. That shows you the hate that you have in your heart. That shows how emotional you are. But you will not demand or want to know the identities of these illegal immigrants. I know you liberals, Democrats, like to say how so many percentage of illegal immigrants don't even commit a crime. Very narrow-minded. So let me expand your viewpoint. To begin with, If they cross the border illegally, they're lawbreakers. They have committed a crime. No matter how much you want to minimize the crime, the fact remains that they broke the law. They're lawbreakers. That makes them a criminal. Like, again, you want to minimize it, go for it. But it doesn't change the fact that by the breaking the law, they are criminals. Second of all, there is report that the crime rate in illegal immigrants is actually going up. So I wonder what you want to say now about that. But just give us some time. Over 10 million illegal immigrants came here unvetted. We don't know who they are. And you choose not to know who they are. So I ask, why don't you demand for these illegal immigrants' identity? If we're not demanding IDs, if we're not demanding who they are, that's what they're getting. For them to be able to walk here without being identified. And now we got this crime from illegal immigrant that actually shot at a Border Patrol agent. I'm pretty sure he did not know who he was. But the simple fact remains is that this is actually the possibilities of all these illegal immigrants. This is actually the possibilities that this could happen to one of your relatives. So they just hope and pray it just doesn't hit home. Because once it does hit home, I'm pretty sure your viewpoint is going to be slightly changed if it isn't already. But the brainwashing, the conditioning that you have in you to just demand ICE agents to be identified just so they can be doxxed, and you're not even concerned of the 10 million illegal immigrants that crossed over. And it's being shown that they actually have a criminal history. Just recently, how ICE went to Ventura County, and now on those marijuana farm plants, the owner is being investigated for child labor. What were those children doing there? There's 14 of them. 8 of them, no parent or legal guardian to speak of. So you guys want to be for the raza. You guys want to be for the gente. You guys want to back up these illegal immigrants. But all I'm seeing is that you're backing up criminals. All I see is that you're backing up child labor. You're condemning your own people by exploiting them to these work conditions. Now, of course, I can be all wrong and be someone that just talks out of his a-hole. But again, the fact remains that you'd rather demand for ICE agents to be identified so they can be doxxed. And you refuse to identify all these illegal immigrants that crossed over unvetted, unwanted. That's when you know you're brainwashed. That's when you know you've been conditioned to believe a certain way. You can't, for the life of you, think outside the box. On my last video, I didn't get no response about what does it mean to you when you say Viva Mexico, when you haven't even been in Mexico. What does that truly mean to you? Because I love my heritage, but it's not Viva Mexico for me. It's all about United States. It's about America, because this is your home. This has given you everything. Not only you, but those parents that you said sacrificed to get here. That sacrifice wasn't for you to go ahead and start destruction, disruption, chaos within your community. That sacrifice that you guys like to talk about, that your parents made when they got here, was to give you a better life. That's what a sacrifice actually means. It's to do something for the greater good. So their sacrifice was to bring you here to give you a better life here, even though that meant that they were going to get arrested if they came here illegally. And what are you doing with your parents' sacrifice? By the possibility of you getting arrested and being incarcerated for being involved in these illegal criminal activities against ICE agents. If you get locked up, were their parents' sacrifice worth it? Because now they got to take care of you. Now they got to look for a lawyer just to see if they can get you out. Now they got to spend money on you. More money that they already did by raising you. So the sacrifice that you talk about, your parents' sacrifice, you're just shitting on them. You're shitting on their sacrifice because you've been believed, conditioned, and brainwashed that what you're doing out there is a cause when it really isn't. When you're demanding for ICE agents to be identified and be doxxed, there's no pride in that. That's just full of hate. And you refuse to have these illegal immigrants, 10 million illegal immigrants, not to be identified. So tell me, how does that make sense? Where is the logic behind your rhetoric? Where is the logic behind your way of thinking? I truly hope and I pray that what happened to this Border Patrol agent on his day off doesn't happen to somebody else, ends up heading home. Because that will be the worst feeling. But those are the possibilities that we're actually facing. And you choose not to look at that. You're too emotional and caught up on your feelings that all you see is how illegal immigrants are being arrested left and right when they broke the law to get here. Mother in LA is claiming that she got kidnapped by ICE, which it wasn't true. Credit on Demand declined $20 million from organizations to buy protesters to just give you a certain narrative to get you going. These are very important information. It should change your way of thinking or how you want to look at it, because it's just a show. It's to get you wild up. But you are brainwashed where you're demanding the identity of ICE agents, but not the identity of illegal immigrants.